A homeless boy approaches a luxury car to offer his honest work, but faces rejection and judgment. What happens next will leave you speechless. Watch the story of resilience, honesty, and an unexpected twist that changes everything. What would you do in his place? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this story if it touched your heart. Jaden walked through the busy streets of the city, the sounds of honking cars and rushing footsteps blending into a chaotic symphony around him. His small frame, dressed in a worn hoodie and tattered sneakers, moved with purpose. In one hand, he clutched a bucket filled with soapy water. In the other, an old, slightly frayed cleaning cloth. This bucket and cloth were his tools, his means of survival. Each day, he offered to clean car windows for $1. It wasn't much, but it was honest work. The morning was crisp, and Jaden's breath fogged the air as he approached his usual spot near a bustling intersection. He watched cars come to a stop, their sleek surfaces gleaming under the sunlight. His eyes scanned the vehicles, searching for drivers who might be willing to let him clean their windows. Occasionally, someone rolled down their window and handed him $1, appreciating his effort. But more often than not, he was met with disinterest or outright rejection. Today, Jaden decided to try his luck near the Grand Hotel downtown. The towering building loomed like a monument to luxury, its polished facade reflecting the sunlight. He had passed by it many times, marveling at the expensive cars parked out front. He knew it was risky. People in places like this rarely paid attention to kids like him. But Jaden was determined. He adjusted his hoodie, straightened his posture, and walked toward the valet parking area. As he approached, his eyes caught sight of a stunning Tesla Model S parked near the entrance. The car sparkled, its design sleek and futuristic. Jaden couldn't resist. He stepped closer, clutching his bucket tighter. A burly security guard standing near the car noticed him immediately and stepped forward, blocking his path. "What do you want, kid?" the guard asked, his tone sharp and dismissive. Jaden hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Excuse me, sir. Can I clean the windows on that car just for $1?" The guard scoffed, crossing his arms. "You? Clean windows on this car? Get out of here, kid. We don't need people like you hanging around." Jaden's cheeks flushed with embarrassment, but he held his ground. "I'm not begging, sir. I just want to work. Please give me a chance." The guard stepped closer, his expression growing harsher. "I said, get lost. You're not wanted here." Jaden took a step back, gripping his bucket so tightly that his knuckles turned white. He was used to rejection, but the guard's hostility stung more than usual. He lowered his gaze and started to turn away when a calm, authoritative voice interrupted the tense moment. "What's going on here?" The voice belonged to a tall man in a sharp suit, his presence commanding and confident. It was Inon Musk, the owner of the Tesla. The guard immediately straightened up, his demeanor shifting. "Nothing, sir. Just getting rid of a loiterer." Elon's piercing eyes shifted to Jaden, taking in the bucket and cloth in his hands. "Is that so?" he asked, his tone measured. "What were you asking for, young man?" Jaden swallowed hard, his voice barely above a whisper. "I just wanted to clean your car windows, sir, for $1. Elon's lips curved into a faint smile. He glanced at the gleaming Tesla and then back at Jaden. "You're offering to clean the windows for $1? That's it?" Jaden nodded, his heart pounding. "Yes, sir. I'll do a good job, I promise." Elon studied him for a moment, then nodded. "All right, let's see what you can do." The guard's mouth fell open, but he quickly closed it when Elon shot him a warning look. Jaden's eyes lit up with determination. Thank you, sir. I won't disappoint you. Jaden set to work immediately, dipping his cloth into the soapy water and carefully wiping the windows. He moved with precision, making sure to clean every corner. As he worked, he hummed softly to himself, a tune his father used to whistle. The memory of his father gave him strength, fueling his resolve to do his best. By the time he finished, the windows gleamed under the sunlight, spotless and streak-free. Jaden stepped back, wiping sweat from his brow, and turned to Elon. All done, sir. Elon walked around the car, inspecting Jaden's work with a critical eye. Finally, he nodded. Not bad. Not bad at all. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet, taking out a crisp $100 bill. Jaden's eyes widened as Elon handed him the money. Here you go, you've earned it. Jaden hesitated, his hands trembling. But sir, I only asked for $1. Elon smiled. And I decided your work is worth more. Take it. Reluctantly, Jaden accepted the bill, clutching it tightly. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Elon nodded and climbed into his car. As the Tesla rolled away, Jaden watched it disappear down the street, a small smile playing on his lips. But as he turned to leave, something on the ground caught his eye. It was a wallet. Recognizing it as Elon's, Jaden picked it up and opened it. Inside were driver's licenses, credit cards, and a large sum of cash. Jaden froze, his mind racing. His fingers brushed against the bills, and for a fleeting moment, he considered what that money could do for him. It could buy him food, clothes, even a place to stay. But then he heard his father's voice in his mind. Be honest, no matter how hard life gets. Never take what doesn't belong to you. Jaden snapped the wallet shut and held it close. He knew what he had to do. He would wait for Elon to return and give it back. As he stood there, clutching the wallet, he felt a surge of pride. He had made the right choice. Jaden sat near the entrance of the hotel, clutching the wallet tightly in his hands. The smooth leather felt heavy, not because of its physical weight, but because of the responsibility it carried. He looked at it again, knowing that inside were thousands of dollars, a platinum credit card, and personal identification. The temptation to keep it had come and gone, replaced by a quiet determination to do the right thing. His father's voice echoed in his mind. Honesty is worth more than gold. He resolved to return the wallet to its rightful owner. The afternoon dragged on as Jaden waited for Elon Musk's car to return. The luxury vehicles that passed by made his head turn occasionally, but none of them were the sleek Tesla Model S. His stomach growled, reminding him that he hadn't eaten all day. He glanced at the $100 bill Elon had given him earlier, still tucked in his pocket. It was enough for a proper meal, but Jaden didn't dare leave his spot. What if Elon came back and he wasn't there? Hours later, the unmistakable hum of the Tesla's electric motor drew his attention. The car rolled up to the same spot, and Elon Musk stepped out, engrossed in a conversation with his assistant. Jaden jumped to his feet and hurried over, his heart racing. As he approached, a hand gripped his shoulder roughly, stopping him in his tracks. "Not you again," the security guard growled, his grip tightening. "I told you to stay away." Jaden struggled against the man's hold, his voice trembling. "Wait, I need to talk to him. It's important." The guard wasn't convinced. "You're just here to cause trouble. What's in your hand? Did you steal something?" "No," Jaden exclaimed, his voice louder now. "I found this. It's his wallet. I wanted to give it back." The commotion caught Elon's attention, and he turned toward them. His sharp eyes fell on the scene, and he walked over briskly. "What's going on here?" The guard straightened up immediately, releasing Jaden but keeping a wary eye on him. "This kid says he found your wallet. I was just making sure he wasn't up to something." Elon's gaze shifted to Jaden, who held out the wallet with both hands. "Sir, I found this after you left earlier. I was waiting to give it back to you." Elon took the wallet and opened it, quickly inspecting its contents. Everything was exactly as he had left it. He looked at Jaden, his expression softening. "You waited all this time just to return this?" "Yes, sir," Jaden said quietly. "I couldn't just keep it. It didn't belong to me." For a moment, Elon said nothing, studying the boy in front of him. Then he smiled faintly. "You've impressed me twice in one day. That's not something many people manage to do." The guard shifted uncomfortably, realizing his mistake, but Elon ignored him. He motioned for Jaden to follow him toward a quieter corner of the parking area. "Tell me something, Jaden. Why didn't you keep it? Most people would have seen an opportunity and taken it." Jaden hesitated, his hands fidgeting. "My dad taught me that money earned honestly is worth more than anything else. He always said I should never take what isn't mine, no matter how hard things get." Elon nodded, his interest piqued. "And where is your dad now?" Jaden's voice grew quieter. "He's in prison. He was accused of something he didn't do. It's just me now." For a moment, Elon looked at him, processing the weight of those words. "That's a hard hand to be dealt," he said finally. "But you've managed to hold on to your principles, even when life isn't fair. That says a lot about you." Jaden looked down, unsure of what to say. The words of praise felt foreign to him, but they also filled him with a quiet pride. Elon placed a hand on his shoulder. "I'd like to hear more about your story. Do you have time to sit and talk?" Jaden nodded eagerly. "Yes, sir, I have time." Elon led him into the hotel's lobby, instructing the staff to bring them something to eat. It was the first warm meal Jaden had had in weeks, and he savored every bite. Between mouthfuls, he recounted his story, how his father had been falsely accused, how he had ended up on the streets, and how he tried to survive by working rather than begging. Elon listened intently, his expression serious but kind. When Jaden finished, Elon leaned back in his chair, his mind clearly working through an idea. "Jaden, you have a strength that many people lack. You're honest, hardworking, and determined. Those qualities deserve to be rewarded." Jaden blinked, unsure of what to say. "I don't need a reward, sir. I just wanted to do the right thing." "That's exactly why I want to help you," Elon said with a smile. "You've proven yourself twice today. I'd like to make sure you have the chance to turn your life around." "What do you mean?" Jaden asked, his voice tinged with hope. "I'm going to pay for your education," Elon said simply. "You'll have a place to stay, food to eat, and the resources to study. You mentioned your father's situation. Maybe one day you'll be the lawyer who helps people like him." Jaden's eyes filled with tears, but he quickly wiped them away, not wanting to seem weak. "Thank you, sir. I don't know how to repay you." "Just keep being who you are," Elon replied. "That will be enough." As they left the hotel together, Jaden felt a weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time in years, he saw a glimmer of hope for the future. Elon had given him more than just help. He had given him a reason to believe that honesty and hard work could still lead to something good. Jaden woke up the next morning feeling a strange sense of calm he hadn't experienced in a long time. The events of the previous day still felt surreal. Sitting in a hotel lobby, sharing his story with Elon Musk, and then being offered a chance to change his life. It was something he never imagined happening. He clutched the small piece of paper Elon had given him with contact details and instructions. Today, Jaden was supposed to meet someone from Elon's team who would help him get started. Despite the hope in his heart, a sliver of doubt crept into his mind. What if it had all been a kind gesture that wouldn't amount to anything? By mid-morning, Jaden stood outside the hotel once more, nervously scanning the area for the person he was supposed to meet. A sleek black car pulled up, and a professionally dressed woman stepped out. She walked straight toward him, extending a hand. "You must be Jaden. My name is Amanda. Mr. Musk asked me to take care of everything." Jaden shook her hand, his grip firm but tentative. "Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming." Amanda gave him a kind smile and gestured to the car. "Let's get started. We have a lot to do." The next few hours passed in a whirlwind. Amanda took him to a clothing store where he was fitted for new clothes. He felt awkward at first, unused to such attention, but Amanda assured him it was all part of preparing him for the future. "First impressions matter, Jaden," she said. "You're going to make a lot of them in the coming months." From there, they visited a small apartment Elon had arranged for him. It was modest, but clean and warm, with a soft bed, a desk for studying, and even a small kitchen. Jaden stood in the middle of the room, his eyes wide. It had been so long since he'd had a place to call home. "This is for me?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's all yours," Amanda confirmed. "Mr. Musk wants you to have a stable environment to focus on your studies." Jaden nodded, his throat tightening with emotion. "Please thank him for me." "You can thank him yourself when you see him," Amanda replied, "but he'd say you don't owe him anything." The next stop was a nearby school, where Amanda helped Jaden enroll in a specialized program designed to catch him up on the education he had missed. The administrators were understanding and welcoming, promising to support him every step of the way. Jaden felt overwhelmed but determined. This was his chance to make something of himself, to honor his father's teachings and prove that his circumstances didn't define him. After everything was settled, Amanda dropped him back at the apartment. Before leaving, she handed him a small card. "This is my number. If you ever need anything or feel unsure about what to do next, call me. You're not alone in this, Jaden." "Thank you," Jaden said sincerely, holding the card tightly. He watched as she drove away, then turned and stepped into his new home. The silence was comforting, yet unfamiliar. For the first time in years, he didn't have to worry about where he would sleep or what he would eat. That evening, Jaden sat at the small desk in his room, staring at a blank sheet of paper. His mind swirled with thoughts of his father. The last words they had exchanged before his arrest replayed in his head. "Stay strong, Jaden. Life might knock you down, but you get back up and keep fighting." He decided to write his father a letter, though he wasn't sure when or if he would be able to send it. He poured his thoughts onto the page, telling his father about Elon Musk, about the kindness of strangers, and about the opportunity he had been given. As he folded the letter and set it aside, there was a knock at the door. Jaden opened it to find a delivery person holding a package. "This is for you," the man said, handing over the box. Inside was a laptop along with a note from Elon. "Education is your ticket to a better future. Use this to learn, grow, and succeed. I believe in you." Jaden ran his fingers over the smooth surface of the laptop, his chest swelling with gratitude. He set it up on his desk and spent the rest of the night exploring online resources, learning everything he could about law and justice. His dream of becoming an attorney felt more tangible than ever. Days turned into weeks, and Jaden threw himself into his studies. The routine of school, combined with the safety of his new home, gave him a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in years. His teachers praised his dedication, and he quickly caught up on subjects he had fallen behind in. Every small victory fueled his determination to succeed. One evening, after a particularly challenging day of classes, Jaden received an unexpected call. It was Amanda. "Mr. Musk would like to see you tomorrow," she said. "He's curious about how you've been doing." Jaden's heart raced. "Tell him I'll be there." The next day, he found himself back at the hotel, sitting across from Elon in a quiet lounge. Elon's presence was as commanding as ever, but his smile was warm. "So, Jaden, how's life treating you?" "It's amazing, sir. I'm learning so much, and I finally feel like I have a future," Jaden replied. "That's good to hear," Elon said, leaning forward. "But I wanted to talk about something else. Your father. I've done some research on his case. It doesn't sit right with me." Jaden's breath caught. "You've looked into it?" "Yes," Elon said firmly. "And I think there's more to it than what was presented in court. If you're willing, I'd like to help you revisit his case." Tears filled Jaden's eyes, but he blinked them away. "I'd do anything to clear his name." Elon nodded. "Then let's make it happen." Jaden could hardly sleep that night, his mind racing with the possibility of revisiting his father's case. For years, the pain of his father's imprisonment had haunted him, fueling his determination to fight for justice. Now, with Elon Musk offering his help, it felt like the impossible might actually be within reach. The next morning, Jaden arrived at Elon's office, his heart pounding. Amanda was there to greet him, guiding him into a conference room where Elon and a team of legal experts waited. Elon greeted him warmly. "Good to see you, Jaden. We've already started looking into your father's case. From what we've uncovered so far, there are clear signs of mishandling." One of the lawyers, a middle-aged man with sharp eyes and a confident demeanor, stood up and nodded. "I've reviewed the trial transcripts and the evidence presented. There are numerous inconsistencies, including unreliable witness testimonies and missing documentation. It's enough to warrant a deeper investigation." Jaden's hands trembled slightly as he listened. "Does that mean we can prove his innocence?" "We'll do everything we can," the lawyer assured him, "but it's going to take time and effort. We'll need your help too, Jaden. Any information you can provide about your father or what happened could be crucial." Jaden nodded firmly. "I'll do whatever it takes." Over the next few weeks, Jaden balanced his studies with meetings about the case. He provided details about his father's arrest, describing how his dad had always been a hard-working man who believed in doing the right thing. He shared memories of the day his father was taken away, the fear and confusion that still lingered in his mind. The legal team dug deeper, uncovering hidden evidence and inconsistencies that painted a clearer picture of the injustice that had occurred. One afternoon, Jaden sat across from Elon in his office. Elon's expression was thoughtful as he reviewed the latest updates from the legal team. "Jaden, this isn't just about clearing your father's name. It's about challenging a system that allows this kind of thing to happen. You've shown me that you have the strength and the character to make a difference. Have you thought about what you'll do once this is all behind you?" Jaden hesitated, then took a deep breath. "I want to become an attorney. I want to fight for people like my dad who don't have a voice. I want to make sure no one else has to go through what we did." Elon smiled. "That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. You have what it takes, Jaden. and I'll be here to support you every step of the way." As the months passed, the case gained traction. Elon used his influence to bring attention to the situation, and soon the story of Jaden's father began to make headlines. Public pressure mounted, and the legal team presented new evidence to the court. After a long and grueling battle, the day finally came when Jaden and Elon sat in the courtroom, waiting for the judge's decision. Jaden's heart pounded as the judge read the ruling. After reviewing the evidence and testimonies, this court finds that Marcus Carter's conviction was the result of prosecutorial misconduct and insufficient evidence. The conviction is hereby overturned, and Marcus Carter is declared innocent. The words hit Jaden like a tidal wave. He clutched the edge of the bench, tears streaming down his face. Elon placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You did it, Jaden. Your father is coming home." When Marcus walked out of the courthouse as a free man, Jaden ran to him, throwing his arms around him in a tight embrace. Marcus held him close, his voice choked with emotion. "I'm so proud of you, son. You've grown into an incredible young man." Jaden pulled back, looking up at his father with determination. "I had to fight for you, Dad. You taught me to never give up." Elon stood nearby, watching the reunion with a satisfied smile. Marcus approached him and extended a hand. "Thank you. I don't know how we could ever repay you for what you've done." Elon shook his hand firmly. "No need for thanks. Jaden's the one who made this happen. His honesty and perseverance are what brought us here." As they left the courthouse, the sun shining down on them, Jaden felt a sense of closure and a renewed purpose. He knew his journey was just beginning. With Elon's support and his father's guidance, he was ready to pursue his dream of becoming an attorney and making a difference in the world. Years later, Jaden stood in a courtroom, now as a defense attorney. His first major case involved fighting for a young man who had been wrongfully accused. As he presented his arguments with confidence and passion, he thought back to the lessons his father had taught him and the opportunities Elon Musk had given him. He knew that every step he took was a tribute to the people who had believed in him and the principles of honesty and justice that had guided his life. Jaden's story became an inspiration to many, proving that even in the face of adversity, integrity and determination could lead to triumph. Against all odds, honesty and determination led to an incredible outcome. Jaden's story reminds us that staying true to our values can change lives. What did you think of this story? Would you have done the same? Let us know in the comments. If this story inspired you, like and share it with your friends.